Hey, hello and welcome to today's GFG problem of the day. Hope you're doing well. So let's see today's problem, number of pairs. So what the problem is saying is we'll be given two arrays, AR and BRR. Okay. So what the problem is saying is we want to find the number of pairs such that X is greater than Y. Okay, X to the power Y is greater than Y to the power X. Okay. And what is X? X is the element from this AR array and Y is the element from BRR array. So given this example, there are three pairs. So what are these pairs? So one pair is 2 and 1. Okay, one pair is 2 and 1. So 2 is the element, X element from R, and 1, this element is from this BRR array. So how this is one of the pair? So if you see, right, 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 1 and 1 to the power 2. So this is greater, right? Right, this is greater. The another pair is 2 and 5, right? The second two element from the array and 5 element from the second element, right? From the second array, right? So here if you see 2 to the power 5 and 5 to the power 2, right? So what it gives how much? 32 and 25, right? So this is greater. Another pair is 6 and 1. Okay, 6 element is from the array and 1 element is from the BRR array. So there are three pairs, okay, which follows the criteria, which follows this condition. Okay. Okay. Now, how can we solve this problem? Okay. So generally, if you see, right, generally, if if y is greater than x, okay, if y is greater than x, in this case, if the y element from BRR, if it is greater than x element from the first array, right, from R array, right, then in that case, this condition will hold true. X to the power y will be greater than y to the power x. We have seen this, right? So for example, if y is 5, the element is 5, and x is 2, right? X is 2. So if we see 2 to the power 5, right, it will be greater than 5 to the power 2. As we have already seen, 32 is greater than 25, right? So generally, this will be the case. If y element, if it is greater than x, then this case, this condition will will follow to be true. Okay, okay. Now, there are few conditions wherein this condition is going. There are few exceptions when this condition is going to fail. Okay, so what are those exceptions? So let's quickly see. So when x is equal to 0, okay, when the x element is equal to 0, then in that case this condition will fail. For example, let's see, if x element is 0 and y element is 6, right? So 0 to the power 6, right, and 6 to the power 0, right? So this will give us 1 and this will give us 0, right? Which is failing because 6 is greater than 0, but still when x is 0, this condition is failing. Okay, so this is one condition. So second condition is what? Second condition is what? When for example, if so second condition is when x equal to 1 and any element in the array y equal to 0, right? In this case, we'll find the answer. For example, now in this case, y, which is 0, is not greater than x, right? Which is 1. So for example, 1 to the power 0. So what is 1? X is 1 and y is 0. And y is what? 0 to the power 1. Okay, in this case, this will be greater, right? In this case, this will be greater. So for the x element, which is going to be 1. So for example, and there are three zeros, right? Three zeros, right? In the second array, then in that case we'll increment the answer by 3. Okay, so there'll be three pairs basically, 1 0 1 0 and 1 0, like this. There'll be three pairs. Okay, so this is second condition. Now the third condition is going to be what? The third condition is going to be for x greater than equal to 2, right? If the element is greater than equal to 2, and for every y and 0, y equal to 0 or 1, right? In this case also we'll get the answer basically. If you see, right, so if x is 2, right, and y is, let's say, 0, so 2 to the power 0, it is going to give us 1, and 0 to the power 2, it is going to be it is going to give us 0. So in this case, again, this is going to be greater. Okay, so this is the third exception. Now fourth exception is what? Fourth exception is, for example, for such pairs 2 3 2 4 and 3 comma 2. So in this case, y is greater than x, but still, for example, this will violate. This condition is going to violate. For example, right? So 2 to the power 3 and 3 to the power 2. What it is going to give us? It is going to give us 8 and 9. Okay. Which so here this is not greater, right? It is lesser, right? It is lesser. Similarly, when x is 3, when x is 3 and y is 2, right? Y is 2. So this in this case, we are going to get what? 9 and 8. This is greater. So these are the 4 exceptions wherein it is not following this property. If y is greater than x, if y is greater than x, then it is violating this condition. It is violating this condition. So these are the 4 exceptions. I hope you have got the intuition. Now I think let's code. I think you'll understand better. So what we're going to do first? So we are going to calculate what? We are going to calculate for the second array, right? We're going to calculate the number of zeros, ones, twos, threes, and fours. So why? So here 0 for this particular condition. 1 is again for this particular condition, right? For this particular exception, right? 2, 3, and 4 for this particular exception we are going to calculate. So you'll understand once we code. Okay. So what we are going to do? So we'll have, for example, C0 equal to 0, C1 equal to 0 again, C2 equal to 0, C3 equal to 0, and C4 equal to 0. Okay, now what are we going to do? For the second y element, right? For example, let's say y element. Okay, so first I'll show the Java code followed by C++. Okay, so we'll iterate through the y array and we are going to calculate the number of zeros, ones, twos, and threes and fours. Okay, so here what we are doing, what we are going to do? C0, we are going to increment, right? Else if it is 1, then we are going to increment C1. Else if it is 2, then in this case we are going to increment C2. Else if it is 3, increment C3. Else if it is 4, increment C4, right? So here we have zeros. Yeah, we have calculated the counts. Okay, now what are we going to do? We are going to iterate through the x array, right? Int I equal to 0, I less than m plus I. We are going to say plus I. We are going to say, and let's have int j equal to 0 for the second array to iterate, right? So now first of all, if x of I, if it is 0, right? Simply we are going to continue, right? There cannot be any answer. We have seen this. Simply we are going to continue. Long answer we are going to take. So here we have seen, right? Here we have seen when x equal to 0. When x equal to 0. So for example, if x is 0 and y is the element is 6, right? In the second array. So 0 to the power 6 and 6 to the power 0. 6 to the power 0. So in this case, it is going to be 0, which will be lesser, right? So there won't be any answer. So this condition won't satisfy when x element is 0. So that is why we are going to continue, right? Else if or if x of I, if equal to 1, right? If it is equal to 1, in that case, what are we going to do? In that case, this is the case, right? So what we are going to do? We are going to increment the answer by the zeros count in the second array, by the zeros count in the second array. We have seen this already, right? So 1 to the power 0 and 0 to the power 1. So it is going to be greater. So what we are going to do? So simply answer plus equal to C0. Now what is C0? C0 is a count of zeros in the Y array, right? In the Y array. Now, okay, else if, right? So or else we'll say if the element in the X array, if it is greater than 2, greater than or equal to 2, then in that case, what we're going to do? So here, first of all, we are going to have this one, right? So here, if X is greater than or equal to 2, and if we are going to increment the answer by the zeros count in the Y array and ones count. Okay, ones count. Zeros and ones count in the Y array. So we have seen this. So 2 to the power 0 and 0 to the power 2. Okay, it is going to be greater. Or 2 to the power 1 and 1 to the power 2. Again, it is going to be the greater, right? So we are going to increment. First of all, answer plus equal to C0 plus C1. Okay, so C0 is a zeros count and C1 is a ones count in the second array or in the Y array, right? Then, now what we are going to do here? Now, first of all, okay, first we have written this code. So first of all, I forgot to mention that we are going to first sort the array. I'll explain why. We are going to sort the array, arrays dot sort. We are going to do arrays dot sort x, right? And arrays dot sort y. Okay. So we have this. So why I'm telling you why we're going to sort the array. So for example, if this is the array, right? If this is the array x, right? And this is the array, sorry, my bad. This is y. Okay, this is the first array, this is the second array. Now, for example, for a particular element in X array, right, at I, and particular element at Y, oh, sorry, at J, right, at J position in the second array, right? So whenever, so for example, this element, if it is greater than the element at ith position, right? So what did, for example, here the element was 2 and here the element was 5, right? So this is a sorted array, right? We have sorted the arrays, right? So it can be here 5, 6, 7, 8, and here the element is 2. So here, for example, the jth, the element at jth position, it is greater than this element at ith position in this first array. So what it is going to be? So I've already explained this, 2 to the power of 5 and 5 to the power of 2, right? It is going to give us 32 and 25, right? So it is going to give us greater. And the elements after this particular element, definitely it is going to be the same. The elements, so this condition will satisfy, right? Will have the number of pairs here. So the element considering this and the elements greater than this will satisfy. So simply what we are going to do, so if, for example, if this is n, right, if this is n, right, so what we're going to do, we're going to do, we'll increment n minus j. The answer, will increment the answer by n minus j. So what is n? Is this minus j. So it will give us this many 4 answer. We are going to increment the count, right? I hope you have got this. So what we are going to do? So here, so we have sorted the array. Now what we are going to do? We will find that particular jth, right? We are going to find that particular jth position wherein it is greater than the x element, right? When the greater than, okay. So first of all, what are you going to do? So y of j, if it is less than equal to x of I, right? X of I, then what we are going to do, we'll continue incrementing the jth position. Once it violates, once we find that at a particular y of j, if it is greater than x of I, right? Then we will break this. Once we break, so we have found the pairs basically. So j has to be less than n here. We have found the pairs. So in this case, what we're going to do, we are going to bump our answer plus equal to n minus j. So whatever are the remaining elements, right? Whatever are these remaining elements, 5, 6, 7, 8, we are going to increment in the answer because all those will satisfy the condition. Okay. So this is it. Right? This is it. This is the code. Okay. And finally, we are going to return the answer. Okay. So a lot of calculations, but I hope you will get the solution. Here, there's some problem. Let's quickly see. What is the problem here? Okay. So we forgot to mention. And yeah, so one more thing. What we want to do, we want to have this, we just forgot this particular condition, right? This particular exception we forgot to handle. Okay. So what we are going to do, if for example, x of I if equal to 2, right? Then in that case, right? So for we have seen these particular pairs, these violate this condition. So we want to decrement the answer. Okay, we want to decrement the answer. We will decrement the answer basically. So what we're going to do here? So answer minus equal to C3, right? Whatever is the count of number of threes, right? Count of number of threes in the second array, we are going to deduct basically. We are going to deduct. And similarly, we are going to do the same for C4, the count of fours also, the count of fours. If when x equal to 2, right? Because this is violating the conditions. This is violating this particular condition. Okay. And another case is when if x of I, if it is equal to 3, right? In that case, what we want to do? We want to bump the answer. We want to increment the answer, right? We will increment the answer with count of 2s in the second array. So we have seen, right, this particular case. So whenever 3, right? 3 and 2. So 3 to the power 2 and 2 to the power 3, it gives greater. All right. So for example, if for a particular element x, if there is one element in 3, right? And if there are three elements of, if there are three elements of 2 in y in the second array, then we have found three pairs, right? So what we are going to do, we are increment the count of twos, right, into this particular C2. Okay, so this is a solution. Let's quickly compile it. This may be a bit difficult to understand, but if you see again, I think you'll understand. Okay, so here what we are doing here is, oh, my bad. So it should have been y element. Okay, it's compiled successfully. Let's submit it. Okay, the test case seem to pass. I hope you have got the solution. Please subscribe to my channel, like the video. So I have observed that like 90% of viewers don't subscribe to the channel. They watch the video, but they don't subscribe. So I will request you to subscribe to my channel. It will be really helpful to me. Okay, let's quickly see the C++ code as well. So here is the C++ code. So we are going to sort the array first. We are going to take the count of zeros, ones, twos, threes, and fours in the second array, from the second array. Okay, for the exception which we have seen, right? And then what we are going to do? So here, for example, for the x element, if it is 0, we are simply going to continue. There cannot be answer. When x equal to 1, right? X equal to 1, then we are going to increment the uh, the uh, we are going to increment the answer with the count of zeros from the second array. Okay. Then what we are going to do here? So from x greater than equal to 2, so we are going to increment the answer with count of zeros and ones. Okay, we have seen this. And what we are going to do, we are going to find the element in the second array which is greater than the element in the first array, the current array, x element in the current array, right? In the current element, basically. So here, if we have such j, then we are going to bump the answer or increment the answer by with n minus j. Okay, we have also seen this, right? And we are also handling the exception. So when x element, if it is 2, so we are going to decrement the answer. So we had bumped the answer here, right? So we want to decrement the answer where if x element is 2, okay. So in that case, we are going to decrement the answer by the 3 count and 4 count in the from the second array. Similarly, if this element x element is 3, so we're going to bump the answer or increment the answer by the number of twos basically from the second array. So this is the solution. I hope you got the solution. This is a bit difficult to understand. I think you'll have to see the code again or the video again maybe. Okay. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Like the video. Have a happy, healthy, and a great day. Thank you so much.